Hey mamas, welcome back to my channel. One of the things that I hear most often when it comes to fears of childbirth is not being able to advocate for yourself or not even knowing how to. In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple 5-step process that is going to give you the confidence to be able to advocate for you and your baby during birth and help you make informed decisions. My name is Chanel, I'm a working mama, and I believe that an educated mama equals an empowered birth. So if you have not heard of this method before, it is called the brain method. One of the worst things we can do is feel pressure to make a decision that we may not be comfortable with, but we move forward with that decision because we don't have enough information to know whether it is beneficial for us or for our babies or if it's not. So this simple 5-step process is going to give you all of the information that you need so that you and your partner can make informed decisions during your pregnancy, during birth, and then in the postpartum phase when baby gets here. So BRAIN is actually an acronym, which makes it very easy for you to remember how to use this process. So our B in BRAIN actually stands for benefits. When we're faced with a situation where we're being given or offered some sort of supplement, some sort of procedure, or just being asked if we want to make a particular decision, we want to know the benefits of it. So the first question that you're going to ask in the situation where you need to make an informed decision is, what are the benefits of this procedure? What are the benefits of this supplement? What are the benefits of insert blank? Regardless of what it is, this could be during your pregnancy, this could be during your birth, this could be during postpartum, at a pediatrician's visit, whatever the situation is, you can always ask and should always ask what the benefits are to this, to which point your healthcare provider is required to give you that information. After you have the benefits, you're going to move on to R, risks. What are the risks of this procedure? What are the risks of this supplement? What are the risks of insert blank here? We also want to know the risks because that allows us to weigh out our pros and our cons to know whether or not our benefits are going to outweigh our risks or our risks are going to outweigh our benefits. And if you have a medical history in your family, it's important to know the benefits and the risks because what may be best for your healthcare provider's family may not be best for you and your family because of some of your family medical history. A, what are the alternatives? There are usually always other alternatives or options that we can utilize before maybe a particular procedure that you may not be comfortable with. So the next question you want to ask your healthcare provider is, what are the other alternatives? Typically, there are a list of other things. If you have not researched what your alternatives are to some of the procedures that are being offered to you during labor, it's important that you do that now. But if you don't and you end up in a situation where you're in the hospital or you're in the birth center or wherever you're giving birth and something is being offered to you that you may not be comfortable with, you may want to ask what the other alternatives or options are so that you may be able to exhaust some more natural options or just other options that are available to you before the one that is being offered to you in that moment. Then we're going to move to I. I stands for intuition. Now, in my class, I talk all about how to trust your mama's intuition and how to trust your mama gut because it is always right. But in that moment, we need to figure out what our intuition is telling us. While this isn't necessarily a question for our healthcare provider, it is a question that we need to ask ourselves. What is my gut telling me? What is my intuition telling me or my partner? When you all begin to discuss the benefits and the risks and the alternatives together, you also want to include what your gut or your intuition is telling you about what information you have been given. The last question that you're going to ask your healthcare provider is, what if I do nothing at all? What if I stay in this same situation that I'm in now? What would my outcome be, or what would the result of this be? It's important to know that if nothing were to change in this environment, what the outcome would be. Maybe it just means that you're going to be in labor for a little bit longer. And if your goal is to have a natural birth, that is okay. So it's important that we ask what the benefits are, what the risks are, what the alternatives are, and what happens if we do nothing at all, because it will allow us to make a much more informed decision. And because you're probably being given a lot of information at one time, it's important that you take some time with you and your partner or whoever is supporting you to process the information that you've been given so that you can make an informed decision. So while this last question that you can ask your healthcare provider is not a part of the acronym, it is always a really good request to make of your healthcare provider so you don't feel rushed into any decision. And that is time. So the last thing that we want to ask after we've received all of our information is, can I have a little bit of time to think this over? That will buy you a little bit of time in labor so that you and your partner can process through all of the information that you've received, figure out what's going to work best for your family and what you're comfortable with based off of what your intuition is telling you. And then with that time, when your healthcare provider comes back in, you guys can make a sound and informed decision. We're not going to be the experts at everything. So it's important that we receive the information that we need in order to make the decision that is going to be the most informed and unrushed decision. I hope that this process helps you feel empowered to make informed decisions and to be able to advocate for yourself during your pregnancy, your birth, and your postpartum, because you will make the executive decision. If you have not subscribed already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can know when all of my videos come out. If you need a full childbirth education course, click down below where you can join my live 4-week childbirth education course where I go through everything to prepare you from your mind to your movements. I hope that this education empowers you to advocate for the birth that you deserve and desire. See you on the next video.